Why did I buy this thing? Seriously, tell me, why did I buy it? I have no idea. As you can see, the tag is still on. This thing has been sitting in my drawer for 3 years now. In case you're wondering, it's an egg slicer. Apparently when I got it, I thought I was going to be some sort of chef salad savant and not single, living on my own and only cooking a single egg at a time. Or maybe I thought that using a knife would be so incredibly difficult that I would need something this efficient and also clearly difficult to clean. Or maybe it just looked cool in the moment and I was feeling a little bored and I wanted to treat myself. And hey, it's yellow and my kitchen stuff is yellow, so why not? Terrible. If you're anything like me, you might struggle from time to time with buying things that you don't need. It's silly, it is a waste of your resources, and it is definitely getting in the way of you reaching your financial goals. So today we're going to talk about ways to stop spending money on stuff you don't need, and hopefully be able to bypass every egg slicer that comes across your path. I'm Melissa Ford. Welcome to Damsel of Success, where we talk about all things money. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video every single Wednesday. So let's get right into this. So tactic number 1 is to make it core to your identity. What does that mean? Well, I picked up this concept from a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. In his book, James Clear says that your habits are how you embody your identity. So for instance, if you were to sweep the floor every day, you would be embodying the identity of a clean person. If you ate a salad every day, you'd be embodying the identity of a healthy person. In fact, and I'm going to read this quote to you, he says, "Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become." I absolutely love that because it's so true. You know, every time that you do something, you're building who you are as a person. And to help you out with this, my suggestion is that you make an I am statement. So I'm going to give you some examples of what an I am statement could look like. So I'm going to read these out because I typed them up earlier just so I could remember them. So you could say, for instance, I am a financially responsible person. I am a frugal person. I am good with money. I am a careful buyer. I am a minimalist. I am an environmentalist. Is that statement going to magically turn you into somebody who's good with money? No, but it's going to remind you about, every action that you take being a vote for becoming that person that you want to be. And just in case you're interested in reading the book Atomic Habits for yourself, which I highly recommend, I'll put a link in the description about where you can find it. So tactic number 2 is to remind yourself of your goals. It's not just good enough to say, I want to stop spending money, because why? Why do you want to stop spending money? What are you getting in exchange? What is the value that you're going to get in your life for stopping spending money? You have to get really specific about it. And one way that I recommend to do that is to build out a money mission statement. And this is just a really clear outline of your goals and your values as they relate to money. And if you need a little bit of help building out your money mission statement, I've got a tool that you can use. I built out a worksheet that will walk you through the whole process, and I will link that in the description below. So the important thing here is not just to make goals, but also to remind yourself of those goals in the moment when you need that reminder. And here are a few ways that you can do that. You can keep your goals in your wallet or your car, so you have to look at them before you even go into the store. You could make them the screensaver on your phone or on your computer, or you could make them the first item on all of your shopping lists so that as you're going through, you're just reminding yourself, I'm here to get these things, and the reason is because I have a goal to do this. This tactic is all about assigning a value, a very specific value to your purchases so that it's not, in dollars, which might be a little bit more nebulous to you of what that means, or it's not in the magical plastic card that we hand to the cashier and we don't actually think about what the total is. I want you to quantify it in a very specific way that's personal to you. So let me give you an example about how to do that. So for me, one of my goals is to retire early. I'm on the path to FIRE, which stands for Financial Independence Retire Early. So I know, for example, that every day of retirement will cost me somewhere in the neighborhood of $125. So every single time I spend $100 or more, I have to think about it in the way of, is this worth an entire day of my freedom of not having to work a day job anymore? Usually the answer is no. Or maybe your goal is to pay off your credit cards. If you're putting an extra $100 a month towards your credit card debt, then you know that spending $100 means that you are in debt for one entire month longer. And is it worth it? Is that worth it to you? Probably not. Or maybe you just really like tacos, right? And every taco costs you $5. So when you come across a really cool t-shirt that costs $25, you can say to yourself, is this t-shirt really worth 5 tacos? Unlikely. Tacos are amazing. So let's flip that around. Let's say that you are shopping for a dress for a holiday party. Now, if you're anything like me, I don't have a whole lot of formal occasions, like I'm not going to balls every other day. So chances are pretty good that if you spend $100 on a dress, the cost per use is going to be $100 because you're probably not going to wear that dress again. You're probably going to want a different dress for the next year. So is it really worth it to spend $100 on a dress you're only going to use one time? Probably not. However you decide to quantify it is completely up to you, as long as it's something that makes sense to you and you're framing it from either cost per use, like we just talked about, or from what you'd have to give up to purchase something else. Just get into the habit of thinking about it in that way before you make your spending decisions. Tactic number 4 is to make it a game. And this is really as easy and simple and straightforward as it sounds. You're just going to make a game out of it. So think about how fast can you get in and out of the store? That's going to stop you from doing, the snoop around shopping that always ends up putting items in your cart, right? Another game you could play is to keep a resisted list. And that's when, you kind of reward yourself for saying no in the moment by writing it down and keeping a list of what you didn't buy, or taking a photo of everything that you choose not to buy. And then at the end of the year or the end of the week or the end of the month, you can kind of take a look at that and just, give yourself a little pat on the back because you didn't buy this and you didn't buy this and you didn't buy this. And that is its own little reward in itself. One last game that I should mention is the idea that you could do a low spend or a no spend challenge. I know there's a lot of people out there who have done videos about how to do these low spend and no spend challenges. I've never done them myself, but if you guys are interested in this, let me know because I will absolutely give it a shot and let you know how my experience goes. So what's something that you've totally wasted money on? I want to know. I want to see it in the comments, and I'm going to give you a little prize for whoever can make me laugh the hardest with your silly or stupid spending decisions. We've all made them, so don't even act like you haven't. Everybody's done it. So, no hate. Give people a little love when they tell their stories, but as a reward, whoever gives me the biggest laugh out of telling me what silly thing you have purchased is gonna get, can you guess what it is? A completely unused egg slicer. I will mail this to your home if you live in the United States. All you have to do is make me laugh in the comments. Okay, on to tactic number 5, which is to build systems for the laziest version of yourself. Building systems is all about the concept of friction, which is yet another concept that I learned in James Clear's book, Atomic Habits. Highly recommend. Again, I'll put that a link to the book in the description below. But basically, you can think about friction as what's in your way. So imagine that you are running down a path in the woods, right? You're on your jog, you're having a nice little run, and at the end of the path is a freshly baked donut. And this is awesome to you because you absolutely love donuts, which we know that I have a donut issue, right? We all know this. So now let's add some friction into that jogging scenario. Let's say that instead of a wide open path, you add a zombie or two that you have to fight in order to get to your donut. Well, that is friction. Zombies equal friction. And the more zombies in your path, the higher degree of friction there is between you and that donut. So if I have to choose between going home and having a salad where the path is clear and full of 0 zombies, or running down that path that is full of zombies that are going to bite me and attack me, then I'm probably not going to eat the donut, which is maybe the better decision, I guess. The point is that you want to add more friction or zombies to decisions that you want to keep yourself from making, and take away zombies, take away friction when you're trying to make a good decision, or to make it easier for you to make a good decision. So I'm going to give you a list because I'm a fan of lists. So here are some ways that you can increase friction between you and spending decisions. You can ditch the ads in your email so that you're not tempted to buy things. And you can either do that by unsubscribing from a store, or you can use an app. I use an app called Unroll Me, which loops all of those things into a single email for me to review in a day, which I usually don't even look at. You can delete your credit card information and cookies for passwords and whatnot from your online accounts. You can make rules for yourself, right? So here are some rules that you could make that you just always do these things. Here are a few. You must wait 24 hours to buy anything that's in your online shopping cart. I do this, and it works super well because the next day when the egg slicer is sitting there in my cart, I can look at it and say, that's a silly decision. Why did I want an egg slicer? Usually I don't want the thing after 24 hours. You can shop with a list and always stick to that list, never stray from the list. So if you forgot to put eggs on your list, then that means that you have to go home, and it just waits until the following, time that you're going shopping. Another rule could be that you never buy anything at the register, because chances are that you didn't intend to go into the store to buy one of those items that was sitting near the register. You could make yourself check reviews for any online purchases or any purchases, period. I actually like to do this when I'm in the store, and I always try and read the 3-star reviews because I think they're the most balanced typically. But I would definitely also recommend reading the negative reviews, not just the positive reviews, because you want to know what you're getting into, and chances are really good that if you're filling your mind with the negative reviews, you might be swayed not to buy it at all. And lastly, another rule could be to do the math before you go to the checkout line. So this is something that I do every time I buy clothes in the dressing room. I add up what it's going to be. I calculate how much tax it's going to be. And if it is above the amount that I want to be spending on clothes, then I leave stuff behind. And it's a lot easier than having that sticker shock when you get to the register and realizing that you overspent because in your head the math was working out a different way. You just, take out your phone and open the calculator and do the math. So here are some ways that you can decrease friction, take away zombies. Number 1 for me is to shop at stores with good return policies. I almost never buy anything that I can't return within at least 30 days. I usually prefer it to be much longer than that. I am probably like every retailer's worst nightmare because I return things all the time. And I would highly recommend that you shop at stores that let you do that, so that it's always an option for you and that you get into the habit of actually returning those items. Another thing that you could do to decrease friction would be to set up your bank account in a way that the money that you have to spend in your account is completely open to be spent, and everything else, like your savings and your bills and all of those things, is in a different account that's automatically getting paid. I talk about this a lot in another video that is about how to be good with money, so I will link that maybe up here if I can figure out how. If not, it'll be in the description below. But really, all of those tips kind of fall under the same category, which is making a system so that the laziest possible version of yourself finds it easy to make the right decision in the moment. So now you're fully armed. You can go out there with these tactics and make better money decisions in the moment. And I want to know how it goes for you. Tell me, reach out over email or social, or, leave it in the comments. I'm really curious to hear what works for you. Like I said, it's different for everybody. And don't get too overwhelmed either. You don't have to do all of these things by any means. Just choose a couple of things that are going to help and see if they help. And if they don't, try another couple things. Just make those little tiny improvements, and over time, you're going to change your habits and, become that person that you aspire to be. If you liked this video, please hit the like button. I'm brand new to YouTube, and so in order for more people to see my videos, the YouTube algorithm just really likes it when you hit the like button. And if you loved it, please subscribe. I'm going to continue to make these videos about how to reach your financial goals. I don't want you to miss anything, so hit subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video every single Wednesday. That is all for now. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.